Collective. Thank you so much for taking the time to tune in. I super appreciate you always. My name is Deborah Leader, and this is another episode of Purusha Intuitive, where we are looking at trauma and healing through the lens of the tarot, astrology, some Ayurveda, and channeled messages. It's a heavy topic, so just know I am sending all the love, all the blessings your way as we kind of dive into some of these harder spaces that are not always easy to understand, right? They're not always crystal clear, and that's where we can use these tools of guidance and help to really help us understand and overcome so that we can move forward, we can release the trauma and heal. So let's get into it. It's a really interesting, and last week was pretty intense. We had a full moon, and it's bringing up a lot. It's bringing up a lot of wounding. Something that was coming through very strongly for me this week was that value of the mother wound. And we're about to move into Cancer season. Cancer rules the fourth house of home, family, feminine energy, nurture, mama love, support. And this value of the mother wound really kind of puts us in a position where, and it doesn't necessarily just have to be a mother, but that is like that sense, that value of your stability, your support, your ability to be protected in life, not only protected, but also taken care of. That you always have someone, something to fall back on. And when we don't have that support from our mother, it does really create a lot of instability in our life. And it can definitely allow us to invite in people, situations that continue to take advantage of that, right? Take advantage of through power, trying to force, pressure, put you under their thumb, etc. And it is really rooted in that belief of what you deserve, right? Of what your worthiness is, your value is. We don't sign up for relationships expecting to get those things, right? If anything, we go in open-heartedly, etc. But this time right now is really highlighting the places where things just aren't in alignment with us anymore, or they're just not working for us anymore. And sometimes staying in it or trying to make it work becomes more painful than really acknowledging what it is, right? So I like to start off the readings with an energy cleansing, just set the tone, set the vibe for the reading, cleanse out blocks, obstacles, limitations we might be coming into. It's a really good time to set your own intention for this reading as well, especially if you've come in with something on your heart, on your mind, something you would like Spirit to deliver messages to you around. Definitely give that over, be open to receive. And I also do personal readings. I offer a variety of healing and wellness services. Readings are one of them. If you want me to look at your specific situation, how it's faring, where it's headed, or if you're just looking for more of a rebalancing of self, mind, body, soul, I do energy healing as well as Ayurvedic or holistic wellness consultations. When we are grounded in self, when we are loving ourselves, supporting ourselves, that's really what helps us get through these really traumatic parts of our lives. It's what allows us to manifest more abundance, connect with things that we actually want and actually deserve. So I would love to help support in whatever that looks like for you. Definitely hit me up. All the info to get into contact with me is in the description box below. All right, let's get into this. I bless you with pure love and light, pure source energy, pure loving grace. I release anything that is not for your highest and best. Any fears, doubts, insecurities, lack of worth, lack of value, pain, anger, frustration, impatience, overwhelm. Cleanse it and release it from our being so that we may see and sense the messages clearly and help to make me a clear and open channel for the collective. Excuse me. Sorry about that. Thank you, Father God, Spirit guides, guardian angels, Mama Love. Sorry, this is all falling apart. right, let me pick it up real quick. It's all falling apart. Well, and it's ironic that happened, ironic or not, but that's kind of what I was hearing for you. Like, I feel like there is a lot that's dismantling, right? There's a lot that, like, you're healing through, and maybe even kind of like unbeknownst to you. I feel like the healing is coming through in what you're sensing, what you're perceiving, how you're understanding people and situations to be. Really recognizing some of the injustice or some of the places where people will try to fill your head with certain things that just aren't true, right? And back to that mother wound, what I was hearing, like, as we were doing the blessing, is it's like when we don't feel supported, when we don't know that our home, our family, our mother, the thing that actually birthed us into this world is going to have our back, then how do we have the courage, right, to make choices that honor ourselves? It's way easier to keep yourself small and limited in that context. And that's a lot of times where trauma comes into play, right? Especially if your trauma is coming from an outside source, right? Someone actively doing something against you. Even if it's not, even if it is something that you feel, well, we all feel like it's happened to us, right? This is how to, I'm hearing, like, get yourself out of that sticky maze, whatever that may be, however that shows up for you, whether it's the thoughts you think or whether it is kind of holding yourself in the house, being afraid of what's on the horizon. There's a lot of messages that are coming up in our intuition, and I feel like we have to kind of understand how to integrate them. But I'm hearing it's overwhelming. It's overwhelming for you, like, not just for you, I'm saying as a whole, as a collective. When we see the reality of things, I feel like this clarity and awareness is bringing the blessings of what is actually happening, the practical reality of it, where you're finally deflating the bubble, the fantasy bubble, the wish of what it was or how you think something is going to respond, right? Thinking that they'll do X, Y, and Z when really they're just not capable. Nightshade in the overarching energy this week. Nightshades in holistic medicine are often, and especially Ayurveda, are considered toxic or can be toxic because they're grown in the night, right? And the sun is what amplifies and livens our energy and the things, it's that value. I mean, there's also like, physical things behind it too, like how it actually interacts with your physiology. But it's that value of like what is grown in the night, in the dark, in secret. And it kind of can be, can definitely have some toxicity, especially if we're ingesting too much, if we're overloading our system. And that's where I'm hearing like you need a mental break this week. Not everything can be figured out in that moment in time. And I'm hearing this is also like very much attached to your anxiety. Yeah, 100%. Like the cards never lie. I love it. Like I say that every time, but it never ceases to amaze me. It's the infestation. It's the infestation that is ruling some of those tapes in your mind of what you tell yourself, how you think about yourself. And, whether we like it or not, that really does emanate from us. If we're sad, if we're down and out, if we're depressed, like that's going to emanate from us just as much as anger or happiness or joy. And I'm not trying to like sell this thing of like, just get over it, because I don't think it's as simple as that, right? Trauma and healing are very complex. I've talked a lot about how Ayurveda looks at it as like trauma. We shove those into the deepest layers of our physiology, the deepest layers of our cohesion. So they get so stuck, it's so hard to come out, right? And I'm hearing this as it's that value, like attracts like. So if we're going to continue to invest in the toxicity, if we're going to continue to feed the beast, right? We're going to continue to feed the things that have been told to us, the lies, the shaming, the guilt, the blame, the projection, the pointing of fingers. Well, then it is going to feel like a nightmare. It's going to feel a constant nightmare, a constant repeated cycle, because we're always living in that trauma. And that book, The Body Keeps the Score, awesome book if you want to know the inner workings of trauma. But it really highlights how trauma can resurface at any effing time, you know? It can be as simple as smelling a smell or seeing someone or seeing a thing that puts you back into that space as if it's happening all over again. And we can't control some of that stuff, right? Like that's kind of just the physiology's response to it being so deeply stuck in our being. And Ayurveda really talks about how working it out, detoxing, I should say, it's removing the ama, removing the toxins, removing the things that build up. And that's through taking care of ourselves, right? Having a good diet, having a good routine, really honoring our mind, our body, our soul. And honestly, it's that right there is the difference between feeding the toxicity, feeding the things that people, situations have done to you, that they want you to stay stuck in those things, right? They want you to keep stuck in that cycle because then you're subservient to them. Then you're still giving them the power. And especially if you know, you're coming from a place where someone did something to you, that's exactly what they want, right? They want the control. They want things to be a certain way. And it's hard right now, astrologically, not a lot is moving. Gemini season has opened up some of the doors, which is nice. We're seeing a little bit more balance. We're about to move into Cancer season, which I love because I think this really drives home that point that I was saying of that mother wound. Like the best way we can heal ourselves is to be our own mother, right? The way that we would want to be mothered, the way that we would actually want to be heard and taken care of and seen and understood. And I think some of this is knowledge, some of this is practice, some of this is, you know, it's not so easy to go from reliving the experience all the time to just like being fine. You know, it actually takes time. It's almost like that value of like when enough is enough, right? Like it's almost like you have to get annoyed with yourself or I don't want to live this way anymore before there is some type of break and a semblance of like moving forward. It's hard not to though, because trauma is a tricky thing. It doesn't, like I said, it doesn't just magically disappear. I do personally, and I think this is confirmation of us, there's a lot of value in knowledge, right? Just learning, understanding a little bit more. Read other people's experiences, find a support group, find relationships that are actually trustworthy. That's a really hard component too when you're healing from trauma, is rebuilding trust. But it's so important. Actually, psychology talks about how that's like an intrinsic factor to getting over it, but it's really hard to do because you don't trust anyone anymore, right? And I'm seeing that like even in our weekly energy, we got this. It's a lot about refinement of self. It's a lot about taking your eyes off of whatever the toxicity is, because you know what it is what I'm hearing. Like, you know what it is, you know what you're dealing with. And now it's this value of taking that extra step and dealing with it. It's a life lesson. I hate saying that because it sounds so basic. It sounds like it can't even really communicate the value that it does bring. Excuse me, even though it's like a difficult value, right? It's lessons through pain, through struggle. It's wisdom that we gain, but it's wisdom that we gain in a way that allows us to be a lot more steadfast within self, cultivating our boundaries, right? And having that autonomy is what I'm seeing. The Baba Yaga is this value of like, it definitely has that crone woman energy vibe, that archetype, that value of wisdom of the elders, right? So this is kind of what you're adding into with your tools, is the wisdom gained after struggle. I hear, and here's the thing, it's saying it's over and done with. It's coming to a close. Regardless of where you're at right now, it's coming to a close. And there is energy that's rebalancing itself. A lot of what we're moving through in the astrology right now is like the weeding out process, right? Like we kind of know we want to make X, Y, and Z changes. And so we're starting to do the refinement. We're starting that cleaning of house. It's hard for you. And I was hearing this as well, like as I was doing the blessing, it's like, you know, like you're ready to leave certain things behind, but maybe that's all you've known or known for a long time. And I feel like you're getting backlash with your choices. There's people, situations that don't really understand or that are like penalizing you for what you're doing. I feel like this is people who are doubling down on their bad behavior. Yeah. Not really understanding like the gravity or the weight of their actions. And it does kind of look like you're still living under this rat energy, so to speak, someone who can't really acknowledge, someone who is hiding. You know, but again, this is like someone who's not even like aware, right? Like they're not even aware of like what they contributed or how they contributed. It's a lot of projection. It's a lot of pointing the finger. And I think that that's part of what you're struggling with, right? Like, how do you find rationality when someone's constantly blaming you for something that probably isn't even your fault, right? It's something that you're carrying a lot of guilt, a lot of shame around, but, and trying, right? Trying to move through. I mean, here's the thing. I do think you're defending yourself. I do think you're standing strong. I think it's a double-edged sword no matter which way you shake it. And something can't handle that. Yeah. Something like, you know, someone's relying on you to stay the same. But this is showing like you're not. I mean, it's a weird energy right now because you do feel a little bit stuck. I'm not saying you in and of yourself, but it's almost like there is no movement, or, you know, we're seeing that a lot in the astrology. Like it's kind of hard to get things to move forward in a way that we want to see it happen. There's a lot of tense aspects to Jupiter right now. So we have to make peace with what is, but that basically means like you're still having to deal with this traumatic person situation. It's finding ways to navigate to handle it. Or if it is more that value of things just pop up at random times in random ways that you're not even expecting, finding ways to and tools that really honor yourself so you're not 100%, like you're not staying stuck. The two cards that popped out are claim your power and take a step. I love that. Such beautiful confirmation. But it is requiring you to slow down a little bit. I think sometimes, like, especially I see this a lot in trauma, is like, you know, we're just so ready to be on to the next thing. You just want to be done and over with it. And fair, 100%. It's not fun to go through those experiences. There's so much pain and sadness. And it's really eye-opening when you have to change, right? Like when you have to kind of let go of some of that toxicity, even though there is no resolution, even though there is no like feeling of like, oh, okay, well, that's why that happened, or there's closure or whatever. Like you're not getting that. You have to just be like, okay, well, this is what it is. And I trust myself enough to understand that. And then I'm still going to take those steps, even if, sorry, I think I pulled these upside down, 100%. Boundaries, boundaries, boundaries. 100%. With that rat energy, don't let it infiltrate to whatever capacity, whether it's in your physical reality or your mental, emotional reality. Set a timer, how long you want to spend, grieve, smash something, do what you got to do, and then let it go. You know, after 10, 15 minutes, move on with your day. You can have as many, 10-minute increments as you want. But there is like, there's something about this that is keeping you a little bit stuck or stagnant. Yeah, forgive, let go and forgive. We got this before, right? Or was that in the last reading? I think it was actually in our weekly reading. So double confirmation on that. And again, I know that's easier said than done. I love that quote. Anger is like holding on to a hot coal with the intention to throw it at someone else, but you yourself get burned, right? So it's just that value of like, it only hurts ourselves. It's not easy. It's not easy. I'm not even saying that it is, especially when we're so badly treated, or people don't own up to their shit, or they're trying to point the finger at you, or whatever the situation is. It's really hard to forgive, but you're ready to do so. You're ready to do so because movement is happening, change is happening. I think you are preparing for the future, even though it's not here right yet. But this is all about helping strengthen and support yourself so you're not staying stuck in the past. I know that's easier said than done, but I know that you also want to move on from this stuff too. So I hope that you found messages that resonated with you here. I hope you enjoyed the reading. Thank you so much for your time, energy, always. I super appreciate you. Definitely drop comments below if it resonated. I love to hear, just say, hey, share in a little love at little TLC. Thank you for all the love and support you bring to the channel. No, I'm sending it back your way.